Stillborn to Life, a novella by Valerie Stevens. Chapter 6. At long last, I found my patron, one of the fine arts professors at a university I wished to attend. I accepted with some hesitancy, however, as I knew not just at what cost to myself such beneficence on the part of a total stranger would exact. I had not yet decided upon just one major of study, preferring to allow the experience itself to guide me along the way. I began immediately immersing myself in poetry and music and composition, also painting, sculpting, and performing in the university theater ensemble in my spare time. Despite my lowly gypsy heritage, my artistic and intellectual acumen and my charm came to be quite revered by most. I made a few allies and many enemies along the way, slowly but surely. And one friendly virtue I did possess was a strict sense of loyalty to those I valued. One such person was Kieran. Kieran and I came to be known on the campus for our various antics. One of these pranks was quite pyromaniacal. Our philosophy professor in particular was the one to arouse our impish ire, and was the one towards whom this act of pyromancy was directed. Late one evening, Kieran and I set fire to his office, of course making sure the halls were vacant. Luckily, we were never caught, but did enjoy every minute of it. I suppose the old adage would apply that you can lead a savage out of the wilderness, but never tame the beast and the man himself. Nevertheless, despite my occasional digressions, I still yearned to refine and cultivate my higher self. I got through my first semester of school with savoir-faire, and looked forward eagerly to the next. My patron and his wife, who were very pleased with their earthly investment, assured me of their continuing patronage. Thus my journey of higher learning continued, but by far one of the most epiphanous experiences which I encountered occurred the moment I saw her. We came to each other in the night. There was no hesitancy in our bodies, as our weary minds and thundering hearts seeped with the sickeningly sweet molasses of an intense melancholic yearning. Desire perspired through our pores like a slow, tepid, and easy breathing of the flesh, bodies unrolling like ancient scrolls of some forbidden religion in dark Eden. As we climaxed, our tears formed yokes of silent confession, released to the ministering care of that subliminal priest, to the one sin, neither cardinal nor venial, yet simply sublime in its poignant inevitability, elegant symmetry of biologic. And it was that night that the storm came home, I the thunder, and she the lightning, in perfect synchrony. I had met my match. But still I hid like a boy, always revealed a man, cloaked within the silent fury of what I had been denied, and of the webs I had woven with my casual lies. For what lies of omission this heart has told, as it writhes languidly in ecstatic fervor beneath the black satin sheets of apathy. For she has come to know me all too well, and so has faith been forfeited in the grip of fear's searing lust. For fear is a sodomite with no bounds, indiscriminately and serially promiscuous. Yet it wants you to know that it does not rape for mere gratification, but for sanctification, for the very meaning and essence of its very existence. Hence, the only way to defeat this kind of enemy lies within the cultivation of the metaphysical martial art of turning it against itself, so that it may learn from the inside out just what it does to its captors. Yes, this seems the only way to put faith back in the battle for good. But that's just it. For faith, by its very essence, can commit no sins against itself. And so again shall the wicked increase in numbers and the noble be precious and few. And it is perhaps for this reason that the good die and are quickly forgotten, while the vile are idolized and immortalized. For ladies and gents, this is fear's world, truly home only to those who serve it first. And as for those who resist, they must find a way to serve the unbearded barbs of virtue and integrity, both requiring of them a dire detachment from those baser instincts of self-preservation, and stave off the insidious pangs of fear, especially in the face of this Sisyphean task. For both tasks coddle a dangerous devotion, for in choosing to either honor the life which the divine has granted, or to serve the corporeality which the devil goads, fragmentation and madness are soon to set in. One cannot serve two masters, yet one must still somehow answer to them both. Two irreconcilable worlds of constant catastrophic collision. Yet this is perhaps just the sad fate of humankind, to dance with fire while treading tranquil waters. The longing to be caressed by the hot, livid tongues of passion's flame, so that we may be brought to that salvation, found only within unfettered communion with the primeval. For oftentimes, in order to tame the beast within, we must lie with it. At the start of my third semester at the university, still under the gracious tutelage of the professor and his wife, I had gained much knowledge. Yet this knowledge, which was much more than that found in books. Many things were being unearthed within me, and I offered much resistance at first. The dawning conclusion of my true inner savage was bewildering, to say the least. I would attend Mass with Father Ralph, and slowly began searching the dark, dank depths of my mortal soul, not only for a moralistic philosophy, but for a more straight and narrow path. And it was upon one Sunday morning that I experienced a noumenal phenomenon that would change the course of my life. Up until then, I had grown all too accustomed to stroking the dark underbelly of the beast. But upon that Sunday morning, in the twinkling of an eye, I was changed. And as I would continue to learn, the ways of the Spirit moved very subtly, almost imperceptibly. I will attempt to describe the experience with mere words, yet most of it will inevitably have to remain a mystery, inscrutable. I was in my dormitory, lying upon the black burlap sheets of misery and despair, when lo and behold a presence seemingly paradoxical appeared where I lie, as a torrent of emotion washed over me, leaving me not with a feeling of depletion, yet with an indescribably blissful sense of completion. And as I then, for the first time in my life, sincerely began to ponder on the existence of a higher power, my body began rising up to meet the peak of some holy, calming tower, and I was blessed with such a liberating, ethereal sensation and elation that I was thus dissociated from any further indignation. Instead, throughout my flesh, I felt this incredible warmth, weightlessness, and serenity, although at the moment I wasn't aware that I was experiencing His divinity. And as the hair upon my skin stood on end and my whole metaphysiology was titillated to the point where body and soul were unified, were electrified by this noumenal power that flowed through me, I was born again. And my once ravaged and scarred essence had been miraculously healed and cover-coated with pure love and higher security by the intense light of the Heavenly Father's aura as He tenderly welcomed me. This holy, dynamic light, the reflection of a power unable to fully conceive, bathed and cleansed my impure soul, thus the devil was forced to flee. However, the result of this theophanic rapture and deliverance, which had manifested a return to innocence, would prove only just how subterranean were the chasms which a life lived in egregious carnality and depravity had grown. Yet when I sat quietly and contemplatively upon those pews of birch every Sunday, reaching out a heart's hand to grasp the intangible, I knew now, without a doubt, that my soul's reconciliation with God and gradual ascension towards His kingdom would be unfathomably redemptive and transcendent, both despite and because of my abysmally fallen state.